The San Francisco 49ers' second wave of roster moves is underway. The 49ers signing wide receivers, claiming players. Sebastian Valdez returns. We have some additional updates about a potential familiar face who could land back with the San Francisco 49ers, considering all of the injuries that are occurring to the 49ers throughout. So, we're going to talk about all those different things. The 49ers are starting to fill out their 16-man practice squad. Second wave is going. The waiver claims have cleared. We know exactly what players are going where, who was claimed to what teams. The San Francisco 49ers also got a player to be claimed as well. So we're going to talk about all that right now, but you guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button. Let's get into it right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going on, guys? I'm sure, as you know, we are getting a lot of stuff in the mix. Oh boy, just seeing this right now. According to Adam Schefter, Jeff Wilson Jr. is signing with the Dolphins practice squad. So, Jeff Wilson, news just coming down in real time. He was a guy that I think 49er fans liked. I thought he ran really well with the team, but obviously, with the 49ers trading for Brian Robinson Jr., kind of made his potential to see the field less and less. I do think that he was worthy of potentially being on the roster spot as maybe the fourth running back if the 49ers didn't trade for Brian Robinson Jr. But as a result of that, Jeff Wilson lands with the Miami Dolphins on their practice squad. So not even an active roster. He goes to the Dolphins. So former 49ers running back Jeff Wilson Jr. heads to Dolphins. As you can tell, I'm making a post. Heads to Dolphins practice squad per Adam Schefter. So I would have loved Jeff Wilson on the 49ers practice squad. I thought that would have been a phenomenal addition. That would have been a phenomenal guy to just have in your back pocket, especially with the running back injuries that have occurred. So, moderate level of being bummed out, nothing too crazy. But again, for example, keep this in mind. If the San Francisco 49ers decide they get a running back injury and they need to add someone to the active roster, they can always sign Jeff Wilson off Miami's practice squad to the active. So there's still a chance that Jeff Wilson could actually play for the 49ers if it was needed. So that news just dropped right now. Some other stuff that went down today. We heard last night that the 49ers were interested in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and he was choosing between the Niners and the Steelers. He apparently chose the San Francisco 49ers. So the 49ers now have a new wide receiver. As we talked about this yesterday, we knew that based on their depth, it wasn't a pretty situation. We knew that if the games were to start today, they would only have two available wide receivers based on keeping five. So the 49ers go out and get not Sebastian Valdez. We'll get to Sebastian Valdez in a second, but they get Marquez Valdez-Scantling after he was released by the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of people I saw weren't too particularly thrilled by this move. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's anything crazy, but he's a veteran. He's got some good length. And he's a guy that I think could put up anywhere from 300, 400, 500 receiving yards as a role player on this team, especially while the 49ers are trying to get through some injuries and things of that nature. Some other things that went down earlier today, defensive end Travis Gibson is slated to land on the 49ers practice squad. I thought he was impressive in a short time with the 49ers. So I like that move. I think that's a good one to get him on the practice squad. Um, this one was an interesting one. So as I was making the video update for the San Francisco 49ers and the signing of Marquez Valdez-Scantling, this popped up where the Patriots have released running back, wide receiver, Kendrick Bourne. Obviously, 49er fans know Kendrick Bourne. And I want to know from you, should the San Francisco 49ers bring back KB? Do you bring him back? Do you sign KB, considering the situation with the 49ers' entire wide receiver room that's just kind of in flux right now? Would you bring him back? My answer is yes. I love KB. I got to speak to KB at the Super Bowl on Radio Row and just kind of talk to him about his time with the 49ers. And I was able just to, like what are the 49ers? What does that mean to you? What does that time period mean to you? And he's like, it means everything. Loves the faithful. And again, he'd already been on the Patriots for a couple years at this point. And KB's like, man, I'll always have a soft spot for the 49er faithful. 49er fans, when we love you, we love you. And Kendrick Bourne was one of those guys. So if KB comes back, I can guarantee you 49er fans would be ecstatic. He's dealt with some injuries in his time with the Patriots, but I know 49er fans would be hyped on that move. And Matt Mayoko, right after that, he put out a tweet saying that the 49ers have high interest in bringing back Kendrick Bourne, according to sources. And so there is a high likelihood that we could see KB back on the squad. Like I said, he loves the fan base. He loves, obviously, Kyle Shanahan. And this is where he got his start as an undrafted free agent out of Eastern Washington. So you bring KB back, you're bringing the vibes back. One of my favorite things about KB, dude is always dancing. I know some 49er fans did not like it, but it was one thing that I love because he always brought the vibes, always high energy, and he would be great to have back. Another guy who came back, 49ers have signed Junior Bergen to the practice squad. So the 49ers drafted him in the 7th round, and I wasn't surprised that he was released. He, to me, just hadn't done enough to make the roster. And so you go and get a guy like Junior Bergen and add him to the roster. So not bad. I think it's worth having him back. I mean, you did spend draft capital on him. So the fact that he's on the practice squad, I think, is a good thing. And we'll see how he develops moving forward. And I think this was the one that everyone was really, really excited about, the return of defensive tackle Sebastian Valdez. Sebastian had a great preseason. He had a great training camp as a UDFA out of Washington. He was a guy that really made a name for himself. And I really do think that the 49ers kind of sensed that they could potentially get him back on the practice squad. And that's exactly what they did. So they were able to get Sebastian Valdez on to the 49ers roster. So that is a great, great addition. I'm really happy about that. But the 49ers aren't done with the defensive tackle room. So when we get through this, we're going to talk about the players that have been added. What we haven't talked about are the players who have been subtracted. So that is what we're going to be talking about once we get through all these kind of additions that have been occurring. But I know 49er fans very excited to see Bass the Hulk, whatever you want to call him, back in the building with the 49ers. I believe I saw that there was interest from other teams, but the fact that he returned to the 49ers, I think, is a good sign that he feels comfortable here and could definitely have a role eventually with the 49ers. So I like it. I'm glad it happened. The 49ers made a claim, though, and this is kind of what I was talking about. The 49ers go out and get defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson. He's a former fourth round draft pick. Um, they claim him. So this one's interesting to me because the 49ers already have a a lot of defensive linemen. And the thing that now is becomes interesting is what players get moved. The 49ers just signed a wide receiver. They just signed they just claimed a defensive tackle off waivers. They're potentially interested in Kendrick Bourne. Who is going to be the odd man out? There are roster moves that need to be made, and the 49ers still need to sign their punter back. I think the one obvious move that we are anticipating is the 49ers putting Jacob Cowing onto IR, and that will open up a spot, but that's one spot. And that spot felt like it was intended for the punter, Thomas Morstead, who was released yesterday. So the question becomes, what other players get released? It's not going to be someone. I really think the offense is set unless they release Drew Moss. You know how that's what I'm terrified now. I'm terrified that Drew Moss might still eventually get released. That's where I'm like, oh, we made it through the first wave, but will the 49ers now release? Because like whether we like it or not, Moss is on the fringe. Like he is at that bottom of that final 53. He's at the bottom. So there's a good chance that it's either going to be the roster moves where the 49ers are deepest currently are the D-line room and the offensive line room. So there is a chance that I would have to anticipate Robert Beal being a potential option for the 49ers to move on from him. Outside of that, I like everyone else. And then again, from the offensive line room, it would be Austin Pleasance or Drew Moss. But again, the 49ers would have to keep Pleasance over or keep Moss over Pleasance. And the thing that Pleasance offers is position versatility. He has the potential to play both tackle spots and both guard spots. There are not a lot of guys like that. So that's the situation that the 49ers will have to determine. Whereas Drew Moss can play left and right guard. I haven't seen him play center at all this offseason. So it's going to be fascinating to see what position and who gets axed because we're not out the weeds yet. Shout out to my boy Detail. Says keep grinding, my boy. You too, man. Good work on your page and your rebrand. Loving everything that you're cooking up over there. So the thing, again, it comes back to we're not out the weeds yet. I know I was really happy about the Drew Moss making it, but there's, from my estimation, let's see, from my estimation, the 49ers need to clear 3 roster spots. If you put Jacob Cowing on IR, they have to clear 2 roster spots. So, and again, when I'm looking at this roster, I'm looking at those cuts happening in the O-line room and the D-line room. So, and because obviously the 49ers claim a defensive tackle in Jordan Jefferson, that also tells me that they're going to swap someone out. So we're not out the weeds yet for the Drew Moss Hive. For the Drew Moss Hive, we still we still have some hurdles to clear. So it's going to be fascinating. We did get an update from Mayoko on the backup quarterback position. We had Carter Bradley and Tanner Mordecai revert to injured reserve. They might be guys that are going to get released with an injury settlement. We'll have to wait and see how that ultimately plays out. But they're not done, man. They are not done. The 49ers have more roster moves to make. Unfortunately, a guy that I really wanted the 49ers to get their hands on was offensive tackle Esapole. Esapole got claimed by the Jets, who held the 7th waiver wire order, and the 49ers were 11th. So if the 49ers did put a claim on Esapole, the Chiefs' offensive tackle, they missed out on him. So unfortunate. He was a guy that I wish the 49ers used that 7th round draft pick on Junior Bergen, on him. He felt like he would have been the perfect 7th round offensive tackle flyer, a guy who's only been playing for 4 years and is an ascending player, ascending prospect. And that just felt like a no-brainer to me. And, you know, my initial reaction when the 49ers drafted Junior Bergen in the 7th round was he's not going to make the roster. And here we are. He's not going to make the roster. He didn't make the roster. He is on the practice squad, though. But again, that just felt like a good value to have. So, but water under the bridge now. The 49ers have their current offensive line, and it is going to be fascinating to see what this roster looks like at the end of today or tomorrow. So, again, a lot of stuff still needs to go down. This is now the 2nd wave, and now we have at least one more wave to then actually like mold the roster. We have all the waiver claims. The practice squad is getting filled out. They have to sign a punter. They have to most likely put Jacob Cowing on IR. So there's now they're going into the 3rd wave of roster moves. So I'm fascinated to see what this roster looks like after round 3. So those are the moves today. 49ers bring in a wide receiver, potentially going to bring in Kendrick Bourne. I'm over here now. The 49ers claimed defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson. They might sign Kendrick Bourne, Junior Bergen to practice squad, Travis Gibson to practice squad, Sebastian Valdez to practice squad. Both Carter Bradley and Tanner Mordecai revert to injured reserve. Jeff Wilson signs with the Dolphins practice squad, not the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see. The moves aren't done yet. And the final 53, we're just getting started, baby. So appreciate everyone for tapping in. Anything else pops, I'll pop back on. But appreciate everyone, as always, for tapping in and watching the channel, supporting me and supporting the brand. I really do appreciate it. Smash that like button on your way out. Grab your cookies, all that good stuff. Like I said, I will be back later and all that good stuff. The 49ers talk is not over. What are the odds? 49ers getting KB? They are high. They are high. But appreciate everyone. I'm out for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.